Okay, so you guys, have you ever had that moment, where you realize, oh my gosh, I'm going to be meeting my significant other's parents for the first time?
Yeah.
It's a big deal, right? I mean, in any relationship, that's kind of a big step to take. And let's be honest.
Huge.
Yeah, it can be a little nerve-wracking. You want to make a good first impression.
Absolutely.
And a huge part of that is what you wear.
For sure.
Right. Especially if it's like a holiday thing.
Yeah, absolutely. What's interesting is that clothing, it's more than just covering up,
Yeah.
It's actually like a really powerful form of nonverbal communication.
Oh, yeah.
Like we make judgments on people based on their attire all the time, whether we realize it or not.
100%, yeah. For this deep dive, we are trying to crack the code of the meeting the parents style. So we've got two great sources for you today. Fashion influencer Kimchi Warrior Princess. She's got a YouTube video out with outfit ideas.
Oh, cool.
Specifically for this. And then also, we have this really insightful style guide from Vanessa Jane, the online retailer.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is both sources actually really emphasize this idea of finding a balance between like respect and authenticity.
Yeah.
Like the Vanessa Jane article, for example, they use this phrase, polished, respectful, and approachable.
Okay.
It's like hitting that sweet spot where you're showing that you put in the effort without looking like you're trying too hard,
Yeah, it's like dress for the job you want, not the job you have kind of thing, right?
Exactly.
Except in this case, the job is potentially becoming like a beloved member of the family.
Right.
So no pressure. Right.
Right. High stakes.
So Kimchi Warrior Princess, in her video, she put together a whole lookbook.
Nice.
So let's just dive right in. What's she suggesting?
Yeah, let's do it. And we can kind of analyze it through the lens of like this Vanessa Jane article and see like what really works best.
Perfect. Okay, so look number one is what she calls effortlessly chic. So she's wearing this lavender sweater, which she mentions snagging it on sale at Banana Republic.
Okay.
Side note, love a good clearance find. Who doesn't?
Always.
And she pairs it with some great trousers and heels.
Now that lavender is a strategic choice. It's soft, it's approachable, it's not too bold, not too overpowering.
Yeah.
Which actually aligns perfectly with what Vanessa Jane's saying. She really emphasizes like those neutral colors for making a really good first impression. It's a great example of how to still incorporate your own personal style, but still keeping it really classy.
Yeah. Yeah, and also like practicality, right? You don't want to be like that person who's like fidgeting with their outfit all night.
Totally.
Kimchi Warrior Princess actually suggests swapping the heels for white sneakers.
Which is brilliant. I love that because it shows that you're adaptable, that you're comfortable, and let's be honest, stylish sneakers are like a wardrobe staple these days.
Yeah.
Like Vanessa Jane talks about how when you feel comfortable in what you wear, it translates to confidence.
Yeah.
And that confidence actually makes you a more engaging, person.
Totally. Like if you feel good, it's like a superpower.
Totally.
Okay, outfit number two, kind of giving me vintage vibes. We're thinking like silky midi skirt, tucked in black button down and some killer ankle boots.
Oh.
But here's where it gets really savvy. She found the skirt for like $10 at a thrift store.
Resourcefulness and style. I love it.
Yes.
And that actually really fits perfectly with what Vanessa Jane is saying because you don't have to spend a fortune to look put together.
Right.
It's really about being creative and making smart choices. Plus, that outfit is just a really great example of conservative dressing without being boring.
It's not about like hiding your personality.
Exactly.
It's about presenting it in a way that's respectful of the occasion.
Right.
A little less nightclub and a little more Sunday brunch with the future in-laws.
Exactly. And speaking of conservative dressing, that's something that the Vanessa Jane article spends a little bit of time on, and it's not about being frumpy or outdated.
Yeah.
It's about understanding like the potential unspoken rules of the situation, like avoiding anything that's overly revealing or too casual, for example.
Yeah, totally. You're saying I respect you and your family and your tradition.
Exactly.
Through my outfit choice.
Okay.
Outfit number 3.
Let's hear it.
Kimchi Warrior Princess, rocking a preppy casual vibe.
Okay.
We're talking navy blue jacket, dark jeans, and those riding boots. Those are always on trend.
So classic, timeless. Now that navy blue is a strategic choice,
Yeah.
it's sophisticated, it's universally flattering, and it subtly communicates trustworthiness, which is a fascinating tidbit that I actually found. It's backed up by some color psychology research.
Who knew color could say so much?
Right.
Right. I also love how she's adding in pops of red, white, and blue with her accessories.
Cute.
Because especially if it's a holiday, it's festive,
Yeah.
but it's not over the top.
It's all about those subtle details that show you put thought into it, you know? And that's something that the Vanessa Jane article touches upon as well, is this idea of incorporating those personal touches, but still keeping that polished, respectful vibe.
Yeah.
It's all about finding that balance between fitting in, but also standing out for, like, the right reasons, you know?
Okay, but hold on, because this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
You know that, like, amazing liner jacket that you get with some of the Costco finds?
Yeah.
Okay, she shows you how to style it as a standalone piece.
Oh, wow.
And it is seriously cool.
I love that. I love that she's highlighting versatility,
Yep.
you know, that you can take a piece that you maybe wouldn't think is like meeting the parents appropriate,
Right.
but you can elevate it with the right styling.
Totally.
It goes back to being resourceful and kind of thinking outside the box.
And speaking of being resourceful, can we talk about how she suggests, like, really looking at sales and, like, off-season things?
Yes.
It's like she's reading our minds. You want to look good, but you don't want to break the bank.
Right. It's a great reminder that a little planning can go a long, long way.
Totally.
You know, it's about being like a savvy shopper, not necessarily a big spender. Now her next look is all about cozy chic. We're talking faux leather leggings, a flowy pink v-neck, and an oversized coat.
Oh, yeah. And she mentioned that she got those leggings on sale during, like, Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
So again, plan ahead.
Plan ahead.
Can we just talk about that beret for a second?
Yes.
Like, it ties the whole look together.
it adds that element of personality and flair, you know, which again, it goes back to what Vanessa Jane is saying. You can have that personality as long as it's not overshadowing the overall message of respect and approachability.
And what I love about Kimchi Warrior Princess is she's all about accessibility.
Yeah.
Like, she mentions finding similar items at more affordable stores.
Yeah.
And, I mean, come on. You know that our listeners are here for that.
Absolutely. It's about like democratizing style and making it achievable for everybody.
Yes.
You know? Because looking your best and feeling confident shouldn't be limited by budget.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so are you ready for her final outfit?
Let's do it.
This one is giving me serious holiday vibes.
Okay, let's hear it.
She's gone full-on Winter Wonderland chic with this one.
Okay.
We're talking like gorgeous wool coat, jeans that look designer but are actually from, wait for it,
Yeah.
Walmart.
Oh, wow.
And this cozy Fair Isle sweater.
Cute.
It just screams like holiday get-together.
Right.
Yes.
What's interesting is how she's incorporated like all those classic holiday elements.
Yeah.
You know, the rich colors, the cozy textures.
Yes.
But in a way that still feels really modern and sophisticated. It's like
Totally.
she's not just throwing on a novelty sweater. She's thoughtfully curated this look.
Exactly.
That's both festive and fashionable, which I love.
Yes. And she's proving that you can find like really stylish pieces at any price point.
Totally.
Now, what I appreciate about her is she doesn't just stop at the outfits.
Right.
She goes beyond the like surface level, you know,
Yeah.
and dives into the finer points of making a stellar first impression.
Yes.
We're talking behavior, etiquette, even conversation starters.
Oh, wow.
It's like a masterclass in social intelligence.
Absolutely. And this is where things get really, really interesting.
Yes.
Because it's not just about what you wear, it's also about how you carry yourself, right?
Right.
Vanessa Jane actually touches upon this as well in her article, where she stresses the importance of being like genuinely interested and engaged.
Right, because you could show up in the perfect outfit.
Totally.
But if you're like on your phone the whole night, what's the point?
Exactly.
So one of the things that Kimchi Warrior Princess says, and this is crucial, I think, never show up empty-handed.
Oh, that's good advice.
Right.
It's so true. And that's something that, again, it goes back to what Vanessa Jane was talking about. She draws a parallel to like gift giving in a professional setting. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant.
Yeah.
It's just that the gesture itself communicates that you value the relationship.
Totally. And she has some really good suggestions, like a nice bottle of wine, if you know what they like, or, you know, if you're a baker, a homemade dessert.
Yes.
It's just a little something to show that you care.
And it can be such a good conversation starter, too. Imagine bringing in like a batch of your award-winning cookies.
Yes.
And everyone is asking you for the recipe. It's like an instant icebreaker.
Oh, totally. Okay, so my favorite piece of advice that she gives is offer to help.
Yes.
Whether it's, setting the table, clearing dishes, or just keeping the conversation flowing.
Right.
Those small gestures go a really long way.
It really shows like your willingness to kind of be a part of the dynamic.
Yes.
You're not just like a guest on display.
Yeah.
And Vanessa Jane, she highlights this as well in her article. She really emphasizes like the importance of showing initiative and not being afraid to like roll up your sleeves.
Like actions speak louder than words.
Exactly.
Or outfits.
Right.
Okay, now speaking of conversation.
Yes.
Kimchi Warrior Princess, again, has such great advice.
Okay.
Her 2/3 listening, 1/3 talking rule.
Yes.
Pure gold.
It's all about striking that balance between being an active participant, but not like dominating the conversation.
Right.
People love to talk about themselves.
Yes.
And showing genuine interest is like, it's a surefire way to build rapport.
Totally. It's about asking thoughtful questions, really listening to the answers,
Yes.
and then finding those moments of shared connection.
For sure.
And the Vanessa Jane article, she suggests doing a little research beforehand.
Oh.
If, like what their hobbies are, things like that.
Okay.
It shows that you're invested.
That's actually a fantastic tip.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're like, oh, I saw your daughter's marathon photos online.
Yeah.
How was it cheering her on? Like that shows that you're paying attention.
Yes.
You see them as like individuals, not just an extension of your significant other.
Okay, so we've talked outfits, we've talked etiquette, but now, like the $1 million question, how do you actually navigate these like potentially awkward conversations when you first meet someone?
Right.
Because it can be a little intimidating.
Yeah, cool.
You're meeting new people, you're trying to make a good impression, you're hoping everyone clicks. It's like a social minefield out there.
This is where like preparation meets authenticity.
Right. Like you want to have things to talk about.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Kimchi Warrior Princess, she's got us. She's all about having some like conversation starters kind of up your sleeve.
Okay.
Especially if it's something like, related to their interests.
Right.
You did your research.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like whip it out.
It's about being prepared to engage in a way that feels meaningful. And I do want to emphasize something that the Vanessa Jane article touches on, and it's the importance of authenticity.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to come off as insincere.
Right, you don't want to seem like you're going through the motions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you don't want it to feel like contrived.
Right, it's not about putting on an act. It's about like finding those genuine points of connection.
Right. Exactly.
Like if you know that they're like really into gardening,
yeah.
Maybe you ask them about their favorite plant.
Yes.
Or you share a funny story about how you tried to grow herbs and it was a total disaster.
Totally. Those shared experiences, honestly, can really create such a good bond between people.
Yeah, for sure.
And even if you don't have identical interests, just showing that curiosity and asking thoughtful questions can go a long way.
Totally.
Yeah.
And sometimes the simplest questions, I think, can spark the most interesting conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Kimchi Warrior Princess suggests having like a few go-tos.
Okay.
Like, what's your favorite travel destination? Or what was your first job?
Oh.
Like those are pretty universal.
Yeah, they're great for breaking the ice.
Yeah.
And they get people to kind of open up a little bit.
Totally, because everybody's got a story.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to circle back to something that both Kimchi Warrior Princess and the Vanessa Jane article like really, really emphasized, which is confidence is key.
It's the secret sauce. It really ties everything together.
Yeah.
Because when you feel good about yourself, it shows. And that inner confidence, it translates into like a more positive and engaging presence.
100%.
Which honestly can make all the difference.
It's like dress for the job you want, but in this case, it's like dress for the relationship you want.
Oh, I love that. It's about really putting your best foot forward, both in terms of your appearance, but also in terms of your attitude.
Yes. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what is like the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
I would say meeting the parents, it can be a little daunting, but honestly, with a little bit of preparation and a lot of authenticity, like you got this.
Yes.
Remember, it's not about transforming yourself into someone you're not.
Right.
It's about showcasing the best version of yourself.
So well said. Find that balance between respect, and authenticity.
Yeah.
Rock an outfit that makes you feel confident and comfortable.
Yeah.
And be prepared to engage in some meaningful conversations.
Exactly.
And remember, at the end of the day, they want to get to know the person that their child cares about.
Exactly.
So relax, be yourself, enjoy the experience.
Yes, have fun.
Now, one final, little sneaky tip before we go.
Okay.
If you happen to be meeting the parents around a holiday, think about incorporating some sort of subtle, festive touch to your outfit.
Ooh, that's such a good idea. It shows that you're paying attention to the occasion, you're putting in that extra effort,
Yeah.
and a little sparkle will never hurt anyone.
Exactly. All right, everybody, go forth and conquer those first impressions.
Yes.
We're cheering you on.